This is the story of Ryu, the strongest hunter on Earth, who dies because he was a single virgin loser. In the previous episode, we saw how Juri dressed sexy and came prepared to meet his crush, Ryu. While they were driving, Juri had weird, lovey-dovey thoughts, thinking that the environment had become like they were on a date, and she started to feel shy. Just at that moment, Ryu said he had something to confess, and this was enough to boil every circuit of Juri's brain. She thought Ryu was about to confess his love to her, and she said she was not mentally ready for this. Ryu, noticing things were going in another direction, said it's not what Juri is thinking. Well, this is why Ryu will always be a single virgin loser. After that, Ryu explained everything, that he has the skill to see the future and all, and said that on round 4, the quest will be to kill each other, so they need to be careful. Well, Ryu did it to keep Juri safe so that they would clear the last floor together. And Juri started to think, does Ryu care about her? After Ryu returned, he then realized that Juri really likes him, but he stopped thinking about this, saying love is too luxurious for him. He has to do anything to grow stronger and clear all the rounds. After that, the time finally came, and after having a heartwarming conversation with Wani, the 4th round finally began. In this round, the entire place was covered with a white structure, and Youngman was getting really frustrated and a little scared, as all his stats were reduced by 50, and he was worrying that now anyone can kill him. Then Youngman came toward Ryu, even though he didn't want to. But to survive, he said he had to make friends with Devil. He had no choice, and asked for Ryu's help. Ryu, with a wicked smile, said, well, fuck off, you are no use to me, and you are just a walking target, leaving Youngman shocked. Hearing this, Youngman started to look left and right, searching the area for potential threats, but he found no one coming to kill him. Today's goal is 6,700 likes. Please guys, many of you are not subscribed to the channel, so please like and subscribe to support the channel. Now let's continue. Then Ryu, with a smile on his face, said not to take too much stress, as Youngman is only at risk of getting targeted. It's not like everyone will come together to kill him right now. In reality, there are not many people targeting Youngman. Hearing this, Youngman worriedly asked Ryu to clarify what he meant by the players not targeting him in reality. Ryu politely explained that Youngman should know better than anyone else what happened to the previous zone leader. Well, he died, and zone leaders will always get targeted by other people. So not many people will risk becoming a zone leader just to get targeted by other players. The reward just isn't worth the risk. Hearing this, Youngman agreed with Black Scythe. He himself thought that even he would like to hand over the zone leader position to other people if he had the choice. So yeah, he's not in great risk now. As Youngman was in deep thought, from behind, the bodyguard and Aaron slowly walked toward them. They were wearing some fancy clothes, armor, and were equipped with high-quality weapons. Seeing them, Youngman got startled and a little worried, thinking, why the hell are they coming toward us? Are they here to kill me or take revenge? But Aaron straight up ignored Youngman, and with a polite and warm smile, first greeted Ryu, asking how Ryu was doing. Ryu turned back toward Aaron with a cold look, and then the bodyguard also politely said hello to Ryu. He asked Ryu if he remembered them, and Ryu replied that of course, he remembered them. Then he asked why they were here and if they wanted something from him. The bodyguard, while glaring at Youngman, maintained his polite tone and warm smile as he said it was nothing much. They just wanted to say thank you to Ryu once again, because he had saved them from a certain scumbag. Hearing this, Youngman got furious and asked who the scumbag was, ready to start a fight. However, Ryu stopped him with a single wave of his hand, like a loyal dog obeying its owner. Ryu, still with his cold killer look, told the bodyguard that they had already thanked him before, and thanking him once was enough. The bodyguard replied that they were just very, very grateful, so they were expressing their feelings. He thanked Ryu once again, mentioning that this thanks was from their CEO, Heavenly Demon, who was also very grateful to Ryu. As they were discussing, Youngman continued to glare at the bodyguard like an angry dog ready to bite. Then the bodyguard continued his talk, saying that since they were on the topic, but even before he could start his sentence, Ryu stopped him and turned back, saying he wasn't interested in whatever the bodyguard was about to say. Now that Ryu had accepted the thanks, they should also leave. Hearing this, Aaron got a little sad, and the next moment, with great concern and a little nervousness, she stopped Ryu while holding a low-level purple mana crystal. She said, please just listen to her for a moment. She wanted to give this stone to Ryu as a token of gratitude, and she would be very happy if Ryu accepted it. She insisted that he not reject it. Ryu, on the other hand, noticed the rare low-level purple crystal in Aaron's hand and was a bit surprised. He didn't expect Aren to have her hands on something like this. Aren, still nervous and a little panicked, said to Ryu that she thought it would be better to give him something rather than just a plain thank you. After all, Ryu had saved her life from being ruined, so she was really thankful to him. Ryu then extended his hand and gently picked the low-level purple mana crystal from Aren's hand, expressing that he really liked the gift. In response, Ryu thanked Aren as well. Now holding the purple crystal in his hand while studying it, Ryu thought that there was no reason for him to reject her gift when she was giving him such a valuable item for free. He decided that when he returned home, he would try to create a low-rank mana stone from it. On the other hand, Aren, still nervous and holding both of her hands, wondered if Ryu liked her gift. She started to get more nervous, thinking about what if Ryu got offended because the stone she gave him looked very ordinary. She worried that he might not talk to her in the future. Meanwhile, Ryu was using his skill of inner thought and could hear Aren's thoughts. He thought that Aren didn't know the true value of the purple crystal, and if she knew its worth, she probably wouldn't have given it to him. Youngman, observing all of this, thought to himself that he also had a similar stone. Ryu could hear Youngman's thoughts since he was within his 10-meter range. Youngman, while scratching his face, remembered that the stone was called something like a black diamond. As Ryu heard the name Black Diamond, he was shocked, wondering if Youngman really had the black diamond. If he did, Ryu would have to figure out a way to get his hands on it. Ryu explained that black diamond is a material item that has a very low chance of dropping upon killing a monster, an item that is ultra hard to find, harder than mana stones, and getting one in round 4 is practically impossible. Then Ryu, while smiling a little, thought that Youngman got caught having such a precious item on him by Ryu. Ryu just doesn't know if he has good luck or bad. Then Aren, still nervous and holding both of her hands, asked Ryu if he needed a protection barrier. If he needed one, she could cast it on Ryu, and it would greatly increase Ryu's defense. Ryu, upon hearing this, asked Aren what this barrier was. Aren explained that just in round 3, she got a unique class, a summoner, and then her expression became a little excited and happy. While holding her chest, Aren said that now she can summon little fairies, and those fairies can create a protection barrier and even do some minor healing magic. So if Ryu needed one, but boy oh boy, Ryu is really a Giga Chad and will always remain single, virgin, and a loser. So he cut Aren midway and with a cold tone said he appreciated the offer, but no thanks, and he didn't think he needed the protection barrier. Hearing this, Aren got a little sad and said, "Okay, it's okay then." Then Aren bowed her head, saying they should go now, and she hoped Ryu would do his best in this round as well. Ryu replied, saying he also wished Aren and the bodyguard good luck. With that, Aren and the bodyguard left and started walking away from Ryu. Youngman also started to move away from Ryu, but Ryu's attention was toward Youngman. Before Youngman could leave, Ryu stopped him, which startled Youngman, and he turned back and asked, "What?" Ryu then, with a serious tone, said to Youngman that he will gonna regret leaving like this. Hearing this, a confused Youngman, while scratching his head, asked Ryu what does he want to say as he is unable to understand. Ryu further explained that he already told him before that Youngman is a walking target, didn't he? Youngman, on the other hand, replied that just a moment ago Ryu himself told him that there are not many people who are going to target him, and now Ryu is telling him he is a walking target. Ryu further explained that he said there are not many people who are targeting Youngman. It is not like there is 0 people who are targeting him. Ryu, maintaining his serious tone while looking left and right, explained that most players got classes after hitting level 10, but there are definitely classless players too, so they will definitely target Youngman as soon as the round will begin. Hearing this, now Youngman got a little worried and startled, realizing what Ryu is saying. There is some truth in it. Ryu continued his explanation, saying there is at least 1,000 people, and does Youngman think not a single one of them will target him? Then a worried Youngman, with concern, asked Ryu then what should he do then? Ryu, with a warm and mischievous smile, replied, "Well, Ryu will help Youngman to avoid being targeted, so Youngman should not worry." Hearing this, Youngman got really happy, and about to say thank you to Ryu, but Ryu stopped him midway, saying, "Who told Youngman that Ryu would help Youngman for free?" Ryu continued, saying, "Youngman saw Aren giving him a stone-like thing, right, for helping her. So does Youngman also have something like that? Only if Youngman gives something to Ryu, then only he can help Youngman." Hearing this, Youngman, with mixed emotions, a little happy and excited and a little nervous, immediately opened his inventory, saying he indeed has a stone like that. Then he took out the black diamond, saying, "This is not exactly the same, but he also got this while killing monsters. So will this work?" and Ryu immediately took the black diamond, and the system notified Ryu that he acquired a black diamond, a material for crafting. Ryu, after checking the description of the black diamond stone, first asked Youngman if he has any more items to give. Youngman, grabbing his chest, said panically that nope, he doesn't have any other items. That is all he has to give to Ryu. He only has some gears, though. Youngman was acting like Ryu asked him to show his naked body or something. Ryu then, maintaining his cold attitude, said not to worry, as Ryu will not take Youngman's gears even if he gave them for free. Youngman replied that now that he gave Ryu the item he wanted, will Ryu help him now? Ryu turned back and, while walking forward with confidence, said sure, he will keep his promise, so Youngman should stop worrying. Just then, a wicked smile echoed throughout the entire area, and yes, it was the damn hot angel. She appeared in the air, saying, "You filthy monkeys, you have all gathered on time as usual, Then, with a mischievous smile while floating in the air and counting the players, she commented that there seemed to be fewer players than before, meaning some of them died in real life. Well, it's none of her business. Ryu, on the other hand, just glared at the angel's face, thinking about his secret future plans. After that, the angel, with her sweet, polite smile, raised her delicate finger and said that now that everyone seems to be here, she will be announcing the quest of round 4. With a flicker of her hand, a quest window appeared in front of everyone. In the quest, it was simply written, "Kill each other for 3 hours." The total participants were 1042, and only 521 would survive, meaning only half of them would make it. Seeing this, a dense and chaotic environment covered the entire area. The players started to panic, and the angel, looking excited, said, "Look at these people panicking." She tried to clear the confusion while spreading her hand with a warm and gentle smile. She politely explained that this quest is really simple. All they have to do is kill the next person next to them, and voila, they will pass the round. So simple, right? The players just listened to her in silence. Then the angel continued her explanation, saying that she had to explain further. This round is meant to reduce the number of players by having them kill each other, and unlike the last rounds, there will be no monsters at all. Now, the reality hit all the players, and they were confused, panicked, scared. Out of all the players, a black-haired guy raised his hand and asked, "That means half of us can survive this round, meaning everyone has to kill only one player, right?" The angel, still maintaining her smiling face and raising her finger in front of her lips, said, "That is a secret. If I tell you this info, where will be the fun? So they have to find this themselves." Ryu, on the other hand, stood still, glaring at the angel. He thought, wouldn't it be fun? Well, the angel was just trying to show. She was all high and mighty, and that was the thing he hated the most about these damn bitches. Well, these angels couldn't change the rules on their own. They had to follow the god who gave them orders. In this damn survival game, the angels were simply guides, and those damn perverted gods just watched the players killing each other, laughing, crying, and even having sex. Ryu would make sure to kill those damn bastards. As Ryu was deep in thought about how to kill the god, the angel continued to explain that there would also be a ranking system. How the ranking system would work was also a secret. Then, while raising her hand toward her mouth and with a mischievous smile, she said she was feeling a little generous today and would give a little hint. She said that just by killing someone quickly wouldn't make someone number 1. After that, the angel flicked both of her hands and said that was it for the explanation. Now, kindly kill each other. With these parting words, the angel disappeared, and the timer of 3 hours started. Now, everyone was just standing in their place like statues, thinking about what the hell to do, whom to kill, or how to defend themselves. How could they kill someone even though they had nothing against them? This round was totally crazy. Youngman, on the other hand, was just standing with his hands crossed, smiling and thinking that this round was really a fun one. He already had someone he wanted to kill, and this round was perfect for it. Killing that person and passing the round was like killing 2 birds with 1 arrow. As Youngman was lost in his daydream, Ryu, using his inner thoughts, found out that Youngman was planning to kill his previous friends, just like in his previous life. And in each and every life, Youngman turned out to be the king of trash. Then Youngman suddenly remembered something, and he started to laugh with a big, fat smile. Thinking just a moment ago, he gave Ryu some trash black stone, and in return, Ryu promised to protect him for this round. Youngman, grinding his teeth, started to curse his friends, saying he doesn't know where they are, but he will make sure to find them and kill them with his own hands. But before he could finish his thought, footsteps approaching from behind scared the living daylights out of Youngman. He turned back screaming, and upon seeing Ryu, he waved and said, "Ah, you scared me." Ryu just glared at Youngman with a silent face. Youngman, a little confused, asked Ryu if he wanted to say anything to him or needed anything from him. Ryu, walking toward Youngman with a serious face, said he told Youngman that he would help Youngman from being targeted by other players, right? So he's here to do his job. As Ryu was walking, he summoned his black scythe, and slowly, the black scythe started to spread in Ryu's hand. Seeing this, Youngman was too shocked to say something, and suddenly, Ryu raised his black scythe backward, leaving Youngman utterly shocked. So with this, the episode ends here. Write in the comment, will Ryu chop Youngman? Or is he just fooling around? What do you think? Write in the comment with Part 16-incher. See you in the next episode next week. Goodbye and take care. This is the story of Ryu, the strongest hunter on Earth, who dies because he was a single virgin loser. In the previous episode, we saw how after Youngmin arrived on round 4, he was really scared of getting killed because his stats got halved by 50%, and well, he was a piece of shit. Then, despite hating Ryu to his core, he decided once again to come under Ryu, seeking his protection. But Ryu, on the other hand, didn't allow Youngmin to come under him, saying that now Youngmin was useless to him, as Ryu had already absorbed everything Youngmin had to offer. So Youngmin could fuck off. After that, Aaron, with his bodyguard, came to greet and thank Ryu for saving their lives from Youngmin in round 2. After insulting Youngmin on the spot, Aaron, all shy and lovey-dovey, took out a low-level purple mana crystal and gave it to Ryu as a token of thanks. Ryu couldn't believe that Aaron also liked him. Wow, he rizzed yet another waifu. Youngmin, seeing this, thought he also got a similar crystal, but it was black and called Black Diamond. Hearing Black Diamond, Ryu got shocked as this was an ultra-rare item. So after bidding farewell to Aaron without showing even a slight effect, Ryu started his plan to fool Youngmin to get that Black Diamond. Ryu made an agreement that if Youngmin could give him something like what Aaron gave, he would protect Youngmin for this round. Hearing this, Youngmin immediately took out his Black Diamond and gave it to Ryu. Just then, the angel came, as always, and greeted everyone by calling them monkeys and started the quest. Round 4's quest was to kill each other for 3 hours, and only 512 would survive, meaning only half of them. No more information was given as the angel left, leaving all the players confused. Youngmin, on the other hand, was really happy, as he had already made an agreement with Ryu so no one would kill him. He decided to kill his sweet little friends who had betrayed him. Today's goal is 8,900 likes. Please subscribe to the channel, everyone. Those who are not, please do so. This will help the channel to grow. Thank you. Now let's continue. But before he could finish his thought, footsteps approaching from behind scared the living daylights out of Youngman. He turned back screaming, and upon seeing Ryu, he waved and said, "Ah, you scared me." Ryu just glared at Youngman with a silent face. Youngman, a little confused, asked Ryu if he wanted to say anything to him or needed anything from him. Ryu, walking toward Youngman with a serious face, said he told Youngman that he would help Youngman from being targeted by other players, right? So he's here to do his job. As Ryu was walking, he summoned his black scythe, and slowly, the black scythe started to spread in Ryu's hand. Seeing this, Youngman was too shocked to say something, and suddenly, Ryu raised his black scythe backward, leaving Youngman utterly shocked. With a single swift slash, Ryu chopped Youngmin's head. Youngmin didn't even realize or feel any pain. It was so fast. The next moment, Youngman's head flew backward, blood splatter everywhere, and Ryu just stared at it with a cold look. Then, the system notified Ryu that he completed the hidden quest of round 3, successfully eliminating the zone leader within the limited time. And for that, he got a low-rank Mana Stone token as a reward. Using this low-level Mana Stone token, one can get from 1 to 5 mana crystals. Now, Ryu, with a serious face, was thinking that he got the reward he wanted. He killed Youngman specifically to complete this hidden quest and get this reward. But this was not the only reason. As Ryu was in his deep thinking, players were shocked and in terror, shouting that a person is dead. They saw Black Scythe murder someone, and Black Scythe is a murderer. Ryu, on the other hand, maintaining his serious face, thought that not long ago, they were the ones who were targeting Youngman to kill him and get the zone leader position. Now they are acting all kind. Wow, what hypocrites. Meanwhile, the players continued to badmouth Ryu, saying Ryu can't just go around and start killing other people. Doesn't Ryu have even a slightest bit of humanity within him? Is Ryu a demon in a human body? They continued to shout, "Ryu is a damn murderer!" Ryu just stood there silently, watching them, and thought that they are in no position to tell him anything. He indeed killed Youngman, so technically, he is a murderer. But he is not going to stop killing people. Then, with a serious face, he said he will be going to kill countless people until the last round. But he will never kill anyone without any reason, especially in this round where he has no choice but to kill for the sake of clearing this round, whether he likes it or not. So he doesn't care what others are thinking. On the other hand, the other players were in confusion. They had mixed feelings. Gangnam Style was thinking if this goes well, he could influence people to kill Black Scythe. Huddy Guy was thinking he had to use this chance to bring down the image of Black Scythe. And Stone Face Guy was thinking if they all attack Black Scythe together, even he would not be able to do anything. Sissy Guy was thinking they can't let Black Scythe become the zone leader, so they have to stop him somehow. Ryu, using his inner thought skill, was hearing what everyone was thinking, and he let out a slight laugh, saying they think they've got their hands on him. What a joke! On the other hand, the players, seeing Ryu smiling, got furious. With annoyed and angry reactions, they started to shout at Ryu while pointing their fingers, saying, "Does Ryu think this is some kind of joke? Is Ryu a psychopath? He's laughing after killing a person like a cold-blooded murderer." Just then, a loud notification startled everyone. The system notified everyone that Black Scythe had become the new zone leader. Seeing this, everyone got nervous and panicked, thinking it wasn't good news. It was like giving a gun to a guy who was already too deadly. Now what should they do? Ryu, on the other hand, stood with a confident smile and his arms crossed tauntingly. He said to all of them, "What's wrong? Why aren't you shouting anymore, huh? Or did you suddenly get scared now that I've become the zone leader?" Then Ryu turned toward the sissy guy, continuing his taunting tone. He said, "Oh, come on, if you're scared, that means you didn't get a class till now. That's the only reason a guy can be scared of me after I became the zone leader." Hearing this, the sissy guy got even more nervous, and with a shaky voice and fumbling words, he replied, "What bullshit Ryu is sprouting. He already has a class, and he's not scared at all." Just then, the stone-faced guy shouted from behind, saying everyone to look at the name tag of Black Scythe. The name tag of Ryu changed color. Seeing this, the already scared and panicked players got even more scared and nervous, thinking, why the hell did Ryu's name tag change? Did he get yet another powerful skill? Ryu realized his name tag must have changed from white to red. Well, this was because in rounds like this, players' nicknames turned red once they killed someone. The more one killed, the darker the color of the name tag would become. The change in the color of the nickname was meant to distinguish those who had murdered and those who had not. In his previous lives, people ended up choosing to kill players with red name tag, as killing a person who had already murdered someone was more comfortable for players than killing an innocent person. But this is a very deadly cycle, as if one killed a red name tag player, their own name tag would become red, and they would become the next target. As a result, players ended up killing and slaughtering each other. Ryu, watching all the players, explained that they may be hesitating to kill each other right now, but this would be the reason for the death of many in just a few minutes. Then, with his cold and serious look, Ryu said to the players, "What are you doing? If you want to kill me, come fast. I don't have the whole day here. And if you're not coming, I'll be coming toward you." Hearing this, once again, the hoodie guy and his nervous companion continued to say to Ryu to just stand there, addressing him as a murderer. Then Ryu, now a little annoyed, replied to all the revolting players that they were making him look like he was the only one who wanted to kill Youngman from the start, and they were the heroes trying to save Youngman. He mentioned, did they already forgot what kind of person Youngman? Did everyone had forgotten about the people who ran into the Musclehead, the previous round's zone leader, where he was slaughtering players, and Youngman was one of them? He questioned where their kindness was at that point. Hearing this, they fell silent, not knowing what to say, and they started to back off a bit. Ryu spoke with a deep and serious voice, stating that it's a kill or be killed world now, and they should have figured out the kind of world they were living in. He continued, telling them to stop their hypocrisy and face reality. Ryu emphasized that if someone is trying to kill him, there's no way he will let that person succeed. This is the new reality of their existence, and they must accept it. Then Ryu suggested that now was not the time to be idle. If they didn't want him to be the zone leader, they could either try to kill him or they could all vote and decide on a new zone leader. He reminded them that this was not the time for such conflicts. They should focus on completing their quest, or they would die. With that, Ryu turned back and started moving forward, thinking that Even if he didn't tell them all this, they would eventually start killing each other, but it would be too late by then. But if he didn't say this much, they would have continued to waste time. And if that happens, it is a possibility that almost 90% of people will die, just like in his previous lives. Even if he has to encourage people to kill each other, he will not hesitate to do it, as it is the only way to keep more people alive. Then Ryu, thinking this, slowly turned back, seeing that people had already started to argue. This Indian-looking girl said she didn't think they should just be doing nothing like Black Scythe said. She questioned why they shouldn't do something. The black-shirted guy then asked, so what is she suggesting? Should they talk? Hearing this, she got annoyed and furious, shouting that he didn't have to be so sarcastic about it. She was just discussing what they should do. The black-shirted guy suggested a fair and square one-on-one showdown. The guy beside him remarked that they didn't have time for this and that it wasn't a game. Amidst their arguments about what to do and whom to kill, Arena and the bodyguard watched from afar. Arena, a little nervous, asked the bodyguard what he thought. Did they really have to kill someone like Black Scythe said? The bodyguard replied that of course they had to. If they didn't, they would get killed by that angel who cared about the lives of some strangers they didn't even know. The bodyguard continued his harsh lecture, and Arena listened with a panicked and nervous face. Then the bodyguard, while moving forward, turned toward Arena and said he completely agreed with what Black Scythe said. He told Arena to prepare herself mentally to kill someone because the experience of murder is not a pleasant one, and she had to brace herself. Arena, still extremely panicked, asked the bodyguard if the way he was saying it meant that he had killed someone before. The bodyguard casually replied, "If I had, I'm just speculating here." After that, Aren asked the bodyguard, so who should they kill? The bodyguard replied, "It will depend on the situation. If someone comes to kill them first, well, they will kill them. If they have to find someone who deserves to die, like Youngman." Meanwhile, panic and chaos were everywhere, and a group of players were arguing. They decided that they should first focus on killing criminals and murderers. Then this guy with a ponytail, looking a little scared, said, "So that means they have to kill Black Scythe. Is that what they are suggesting?" A cool-looking dude replied, all sweetness on his face, "Black Scythe? Only an insane person would even try to get close to that beast. How can someone kill a guy who is level 30, almost 3 times more than them, and God knows how many skills he even has?" Another guy jokingly said, "I'm sure if all of them attack him together, they will definitely be able to kill Black Scythe." His friend put a finger on his lips and asked him to quiet down, saying, "What if Black Scythe hears you?" On the other hand, he was just standing with his arms crossed, observing and listening to everything. The player who noticed Ryu was listening to him all along got scared out of his wits. Now, once again, all the players started to argue. This kind-hearted guy, very angry, shouted, "What the hell are all of them saying? Life is precious and they should not kill anyone, even if they are criminals and murderers, and become murderers themselves." This hoodie guy agreed, saying, "Indeed, even if they kill a murderer, they will themselves become murderers and will end up getting targeted by others who are not murderers." Then, this short-haired guy asked, "Then what should they do? Play Ludo until the time is over and wait for the angel to come so she can kill all of them, huh?" This criminal-looking guy said to stop the argument and agree on only killing the criminals. Then, this green-haired girl tauntingly asked, "And how are they even going to identify who is the criminal? Are they going to ask those who are criminals to raise their hands? Are they dumb?" The other players started to laugh upon hearing this, and the criminal-looking guy, grinding his teeth, got really angry, saying, "Who the hell is she to insult him? If she's so smart, how about she tells them about a good solution, you damn bitch?" Hearing the criminal guy calling her a bitch, she got furious and started to curse the criminal guy, saying she should just kill him as he indeed looked like a criminal. And just like that, the two of them prepared their weapons, ready to kill each other. Ryu, on the other hand, was standing with his arms crossed in the same spot, looking like a college professor, disappointed and shaking his head. He thought the entire thing was an utter disaster. Everyone kept talking about killing each other, but not a single one of them had the courage to even lay a finger on anyone. Then Ryu's face turned serious, and he said there was nothing to worry about, as he had already made the proper arrangements at the start, so they would have to fight no matter what. In just a moment, they would start killing each other. Just then, something unexpected happened. While trying to manage the whole mess and trying to discourage fighting among themselves, Ryu stopped midway as he saw something. Seeing this, he got bewildered and shocked, and he started to shout. Hearing him, everyone's attention turned toward him. In front of them, Youngman was sitting, yawning, all healthy, without a single scratch on his body, fully alive. Everyone just watched Youngmin in utter silence. Ryu then explained that there was a hidden rule of this round that after 10 minutes of death, players would respawn with all their injuries healed, like nothing happened. Youngmin, on the other hand, slowly stood up, confused about why people were staring at him. Then he realized they weren't just staring at him. It was like they had seen a zombie in front of them. After that, Youngmin turned back, and while looking at Ryu and scratching his head, thought he was really confused. He was definitely talking to Black Scythe a while ago, and after that, he didn't remember what happened. The next moment, he was just sitting on the ground. What the hell is going on? Meanwhile, the other players, after noticing that Youngmin was alive, started to shout in confusion, asking how the hell Youngmin was alive and how he had resurrected like a god. Then they realized, did Youngmin get respawned like in a game after dying? Then they started to come to the conclusion that if people who die in this round will get resurrected and come back to life, then it should be okay if they kill each other, right? After that realization, everyone took their weapons out, saying that if Youngmin really came back to life, then so will others. So this will not be called murder, and they should start the quest. With this, they started walking toward a big melon lady who was really weak, with no class or any weapon, an easy target. She was really scared, saying everyone to calm down as they were not even sure if they would get resurrected like Youngmin. This might only be a one-time thing, but even before she could finish her sentence, someone with great force slashed her back, giving her intense pain, and blood splattered everywhere. So with this, the episode ends here. What do you think will happen next? Write in the comments with Part 17 Incher. Goodbye.